reason I drive this particular car, a Morgan three-wheeler, I got a piece of fan mail from a guy whose son was dying of cancer, who was an Alex Roy fan and loved sports cars. He was in Birmingham, England, and the first thing I thought of doing was calling Charles Morgan, president of Morgan Motor Cars, and asking to borrow a Morgan three-wheeler, pre-release. He instantly answered yes. I flew to London, went to Malvern factory, picked up the car. Jalopnik wrote a story about how Alex Roy was going to visit this boy who was dying in a hospice to give him a ride in a Morgan three-wheeler. When I arrived in Birmingham, I think 1,500 people showed up with sports cars, many of them Morgans. Any child that could get into a car and get a ride that day got one. My advice to anyone who wants to get their first car or get a car which really is part of who they are and comes to represent them is not to be seduced by the notion that money gets you any closer to what you want, happiness or a better car. I haven't owned a new car in 15 years, and I don't think I'd ever buy a new car again. The cars I love the best are vintage cars, vintage foreign cars. You know, if I was given a brand new car, I would immediately sell it, give half of it to charity, and then put the rest in the bank, because that car would have no meaning to me. I mean, performance, speed, horsepower, you don't fall in love with a person because of how fast they run. The most important lesson I learned driving Morgan three-wheeler, which has no safety equipment, no ABS, no traction control, no power steering, no anything, is to become a much slower and safer driver. There's absolutely no protection if you make any kind of mistake. It's technically a motorcycle with all the downsides of a car. It's work, but it's work that's made me a better driver in other cars. I need to bring with me tools, parts, and a good sense of humor, because I always need the help of someone standing nearby when I break down, which happens at least every few weeks.